What we'd like to kind of start with is the first time we met Don. I'll tell you about the first time I met Don. And many of you were with me. It's because we were right here on this stage 2 years ago, in 2006. We had just started our Stargate track. We'd never had one before. We were so excited. And when I was able to first meet Don, his radiance and beauty of spirit reached across to me almost as if I'd known him forever. He was so kind and so warm that I knew that those 4 days were going to be something that were magical, and they truly were. And I'll tell you something really funny. At the last panel, on the stage, I walked off down the ramp, and there was something in my way, and I took a flying leap off that platform and landed. And Don saw me and he said, "Marcia's down, Marcia's down." I felt like one of the SG-1 crew. And in that moment, again, I knew that not only had he remembered my name, but he really cared about it. And so he helped me up, and I was okay. And that's just one of my special memories about the first time that I met Don. And I'd like to ask our guest about the first time that you met Don.
Yes, absolutely. What a great man. I first met him in the general's office, Landry's office, and of course I visited his office at one point as well. And he impressed me so much right from the very beginning. I could see why everyone enjoyed him so much. He had a tremendous sense of humor, and yet when the work started, he was very professional, absolutely had command of his lines, and but you know, he had a comic edge as well. He could swing it with Chris Judgment the best. And then we went to a convention in London. It was last year, and I got to know him sort of outside of the workplace. We had dinner together, and you know, he had so many facets to him. As I'm sure you guys know, he was a wonderful painter. I couldn't believe he had some of his artwork with him, and he brought it out, and I was just floored. I thought, wow, you know, this guy, you know, is a hack actor. You know, he's really everyone knew the real story about him. You know, he's this incredible artist. But a lot of people, of course, did know that he was a wonderful artist. I remember when we were at that convention, we were sort of sitting together when they were signing autographs, and some guy brought an architectural rendering of the building. And I looked at it, Don looked at it, and I said, "Geez, what's this?" And he said, "This is my home. It's halfway built," and it was a complete architectural rendering of the Stargate Command Center. And this guy was building his place to look just like it, and he said, "If you guys could just sign in the general's room there, you know." So we did. But I think Don was one of those people who, when it's his time to go, he just don't want it to happen. I was looking forward to, you know, more times with him and learning more about the man. I know how important he was to Amanda Tapping. He was like another dad to her. And it was quite emotional when we were all down there in Comic-Con together. They were, the rest of the crew too was pretty choked up about it. But I think he will continue being an inspiration to all of us, and I was really happy to know the man.
I first met Don when we first started Atlantis, and I was lucky enough to shoot an episode of Stargate SG-1 at the same time. So it was very funny energy, two very different sets, these two, you know, all the newbies on Atlantis are trying really hard, and then the shock of all the actors, Michael Shanks and Christopher Judge, that was baptized by fire on SG-1. And I think I was a bit overwhelmed on SG-1. I mean, their energy is, those boys' energy is very male, very overwhelming. And at the same time, you know, juggling both jobs, I was a bit sort of overwhelmed and a little bit trying to find my footing. And I turned a corner and Don Davis was sitting in a chair, and you know, I'm quite shy and I didn't want to interrupt his space. I didn't know what he was doing. So I sort of tried to slip by him quietly and go to my dressing room, and he just grabbed me, and he is so warm, that gentleman, as you all know. I mean, and he just wants to give so much, and he just like jumped out of the chair, gave me a huge hug, introduced himself, sat me down. I'm not going to get, you know, I found him a true gentleman and a true Renaissance man, and old school, just old school. When I heard that he had died, I was in Reunion Island with Cliff and Chris Judge, and I feel very lucky to be with them because they had so many stories about him, and I felt very lucky to be able to share in their energy and listen to these stories. But I must say I was shocked because I always thought of him as nothing but a quintessential gentleman. And they told me some stories that I went, all right. He could play both sides of it very well. And just charming. And I also feel very lucky because I hadn't seen him. Because I didn't see him very much. You know, we were Atlantis and he had left SG1. I hadn't seen him much the last few years. But I got into a little bit of a tax issue problem, and I needed some advice. And I spoke to him a week before, and I was amazed. I hadn't spoken for ages, and I called him and left a message asking for some advice, and we kept playing phone tag. But this man that didn't know me very well, didn't have any need to go out of his way for me, and he was in the middle of filming something, and his phone wasn't working where he was filming, and he just kept leaving me messages, and he kept apologizing for not reaching me, and when we kept sort of missing each other, then he said, make sure you talk to Ruby, and he called her and let her know what I was needing, and I just found it amazing. He's working 18 hours, and he's going out of his way to try to reach me in Los Angeles to help me out, and he did, and that's my last exchange with him saved me. So he's a magic man, and the way he spoke about all of you was wonderful too, because I think we were all shocked in Atlantis about what conventions were and about how to deal with the fandom, and he just had so much respect and so much gratitude for what you guys give to us, and yeah, he loved all of you hugely and loved what you shared.